And Michelle, welcome to the show. This is your second time on the podcast. We are excited to have you here. And again, yes, we want to live vicariously through you. Please tell us how beautiful the weather is where you're at.
Certainly. A pleasure to be here, Brett. And I am so happy and grateful that you invited me twice.
Hmm.
Well, yes, the weather is incredibly gorgeous here all the time. And today the sun is out and the sea is calm and it's partially cloudy with a light breeze. It's like perfect weather, what you imagine when you imagine perfect weather.
Hmm.
It's not too hot, it's not too cold. The breeze is blowing. It is humid here, but you don't feel it because of the trade winds. So
Yep.
it's an amazing, stunning place. I am in a place called Bocas del Toro, Panama. It's an archipelago of islands off the coast of Panama in the Caribbean. And my dream since I was a teenager was to live in the Caribbean in a cottage over the sea. And now I have made that happen, and we've been living here happily for the last 15 years full time. Part of the time I worked, now I'm retired, and I focus on my passion projects. And my passion projects today are providing multifamily housing for seniors and their kids, the digital nomads. What inspired me to have it was living here and watching what's happening here. People, expats are moving here, they're retiring here. When they come, they're relatively healthy. They don't have too much concern about it. Healthcare here is cheap. You can go to the hospital and, for a few bucks. So, you can pay out of pocket because it doesn't cost very much. But if you start to need something like assisted living, say you have an accident and you're in a cast and you need a little help dressing or doing your daily activities, or you have a pet and you can't walk right now and somebody needs to walk your pet, those kinds of assisted things, there's nothing here other than hiring just in-home help to do that. And people do some of that. They hire a full-time person maybe to help them, and there's no housing like we have in the States and other countries that you can actually live in, that provides all those amenities and helps you thrive and enhance your well-being, as a concept. And I wanted to provide that for my community and elevate the community in the process. As well as what I've noticed also while I was working was that not only were the parents moving here and then their kids would come and visit and go, oh my God, it's beautiful, and they would move here as well, but part-time because they still work and they'd have a family compound.
Mm.
And there's also a shortage of that kind of housing for digital nomads where they can have a comfortable place with good internet to work that's not super expensive like an Airbnb. If somebody wants to come for a week, that's fine, but if they want to come for 3 months, it gets pretty expensive. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, almost as if you were gathering your family around you and your friends and putting their money together and just putting it together and doing it, right? So each investor will own a piece of the company, which will own the land and the buildings. So you're a direct owner and you get the benefits of direct ownership with a K1, just like, but it is a Panamanian company. So I'm not sure if they call it a K1 here, but we'll issue something that works for U.S. and taxes.
Hmm.
Most of my investors are from the U.S. So with that percentage, we haven't. Everything is still a little bit in flux because it's such at the beginning.
Yep.
My original idea was to do an 80-20 split. Managing partner 20%, limited partners 80%. I'm playing around with the idea of a preferred return and a waterfall, but nothing is written in stone just yet. As I gather investors, I think they're going to tell me what they would like to see, what makes them want to invest in this, and I can probably accommodate that if it's reasonable. So, like I said, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. This one investor group that I'm working with, two guys that own a mortgage company in the U.S., they said No, they don't want to do an 80-20 split. They want to do a 70-30 split. That's their feeling of fair. So I'm okay with that. And I'm using a unique proposition to do that because this is Panama and I want to make sure that I keep my investors' money safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a capital raise of $7 million and I want to raise all of that in cash and build the buildings and buy the land with cash and only take the money back out with debt after the building is built, filled, and optimized, and that will take 3 to 5 years. Then we'll apply for a bank loan and pull out 50% and only have a 50% LTV, and we should be able to get all or most of the investors' money out, and then we will enjoy the property debt-free. That's my plan, as opposed to doing debt from the beginning and having payments or incorporating those payments into the loan and all of that complicated stuff.
Risky too, yeah.
First I go after my sphere of influence, and being in the real estate business for 40 years, I have a pretty big sphere of influence, and so I just started reaching out to, friends, family, acquaintances, business partners from the past, all kinds of stuff, and letting it be known what I'm doing, even talking about it in my community. I held a little event in my community last year and invited anyone who might be interested or could spread the word. And then I've been focusing mainly on optimizing my LinkedIn profile and posting on LinkedIn on a regular basis. And the current, I think I met you there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I met this other investor, Mark Jacobs, there. He was actually referred to me by another person I met on LinkedIn. So I'm developing a LinkedIn community, and I don't need that many. I don't need thousands and thousands and be a big influencer. I just need a small, effective group. So mainly, as far as advertising, I have a website I can refer people to give them an overview of the project. It's basically a landing page, and that's what I've been doing for the past, year and a half. Pre-sales will happen. There's going to be two sectors. There's going to be a build for rent only and a build for sale part. So those are so yes, and when we get the for sale parts, we will pre-sale for sure, and that's where my real estate experience comes in from selling property for many, many years.
Yeah. Our development project was 20 unit site condos, and our structures were inside of the existing code. We were actually able to do 4 units together. So it was kind of like these quadplexes. We had parking under. It was very, very cool. One of them was like an ADA accessible kind of thing. So it was barrier free. And what we did is we actually sold 2 of the 4, pre-sold 2 of the 4 before we even broke ground, really. And that's, boy, as an investor, that feels so good when you have those pre-sales. But when it comes down to it, in the world of real estate, the pre-sales really don't mean anything, right? I mean, it's a piece of paper. Yeah, maybe if they back out, you could litigate against them and, get their deposit. But when it comes down to it, for the most part, it's really a handshake thing. It can mitigate some risk, but when it comes down to it, the risk is still on the table, right?
Yeah, the risk is still on the table, and that's where I'll lean heavily again with my consultants, because they've done pre-sales for many, many years in their units, and I'll get their processes and systems and procedures in place before I even start.